Hey everyone, I'm Rob Elkins. I'm the lead architect on Westmead Climbing Centre. I've been qualified for about 10 years now. Took me about 12 years to get to that point, so it's been a fair while that I've been in the profession. Much of the design comes out of a refinement through a whole team of professionals, critically analysing what we're doing. But I guess the basic principle for this project was to break it down, to break the mass. It's a huge building to hold a climbing centre, so we wanted to break it down into smaller forms. And then we wanted to push a public thoroughfare right through the middle of the building so that we all sort of felt an ownership of the space, rather than it being a blob in our landscape. It was part of the landscape that we all use. I mean, what I really hope maybe is that we go through there when it opens and we find a whole line of kids looking through the glass windows at the climbing and being excited to take it up. Any specific location is challenging to design in, but this one obviously is on a floodplain, which goes against the majority of our sort of design ethos. But we wanted to make sure the action started from a point of positive effect in terms of the development. We knew that it was going to be this great community asset, but then we wanted to make sure that any effect that happened on that field was positive on the floodplain, and therefore we've put provision in to allow more water to be stored on there. We've made sure that the flow paths are all kept clear. And generally speaking, the building is very protected from flooding. It's 1.5 meters in the air, so there's very little chance of any water ever getting in there. What's the second bit? The second part probably is that it's in the town centre, and yet down a very confined little lane. So we didn't want cars driving down to it. We wanted very much to encourage people to get here sustainably. So lots of cycle parking, lots of connectivity studies looking at how people got there from Patterdown when that gets built, from Pewsham, from the other side of Chippenham and Seaton Park and so on. So the hope is that this is very much a sustainable usage project. Other than that, it's a really lovely big open field, and we really studied the strengths of the project, of the site before we started working on the project. So we didn't want to take anything away which was an existing strength, so we wanted to retain the large open expanse of field for people to play on, and for the folk festival and people to use. Yes, very much so. I hope for my kids to grow up on the walls and bowls that we're creating, and I'll grow older climbing them till I can't climb them anymore. I mean, I guess I grew up here in Chippenham and I've always had a real love-hate relationship with the town. As a youngster playing football on the site and watching the remote controlled cars and things, it was a very exciting place to be. As I became a teenager, as many of our children will do, the town became small and I wanted to get away and travel as much as possible. But it's safe to say that in the last 10 years or so, I've firmly fallen back in love with the town and the things it has to offer. So what I'd really love to do is to create something in the town that gave our kids something to do to grow up living and loving in Chippenham.